Hello, folks. Welcome to the Hello World, podcasting with Magdalena. How is everybody doing? Listen, I just wanted to welcome you wherever you are, and thanks for tuning in. In my weekly podcasting, most of the time I can make it, but sometimes I'm just kind of, in maybe complicated situation or doing something else. So if I don't do immediately on time, please forgive me. Even though for today I actually didn't do yesterday the podcasting, the energy was so incredible, intense, and I said, you know what? Let me just give a day of cooling down, and see in what direction what will come up with this whole thing. So, look, like I said, I just wanted to welcome you. Thank you wherever you are listening. And for those who are new, I just want to let you know what I'm doing here is about personal growth, personal mastery, or mastering ourselves, with what's really going on. And, in this process, I like to kind of use astrology as a guidelines or the map or GPS, however you want to call it, to see what's really going on and, try to decode the information. So let's see where we are today and what can we pull out of this craziness. I'm telling you, wow! Since the sun went again in Taurus is just intense, even worse than what we had in Aries. So let's begin. We have actually Sun in Taurus with the Moon in Aquarius. This is giving us a look like a square about this fixed sign, and as you know, the fixed sign is sometimes very fixed. It says on its own. It doesn't move. It is great if you have a project and you need endurance to carry it on. That's perfect, to do it with a fixed energies. But boy, if you try to move something, good luck with that. So, and then we have a whole new couple, Mercury and Venus. They just went into Aries. Yay. Talking about the intensity of the energy. They are both very outspoken, Mercury is pretty hot. Venus, she's about our value, so she has her own little agenda. And then we have Mars in Gemini. I mean, this is such a line up, from the Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer energy, all first signs, in the groups, Taurus in the fixed sign, Aries in the what's the name? Cardinal sign, and Gemini is first in the mutable sign. So, and then we have actually Jupiter in Sagittarius retrograde, Saturn in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune Pisces, Pluto went retrograde, folks. And on the 29th, we will have Saturn going retrograde in Capricorn. So, so we will be put on stop, guys. Chiron is in Aries, North Node in Cancer retrograde again, and Lilith moved from Pisces into Aquarius. She's also retrograde. So, when I asked you the question, how are you feeling? We have right now, as I said, Taurus in Sun in Taurus and Moon in Aquarius. It's a fixed one, they are squaring each other, so it's very, very, very difficult to move anything. Yet on the other side, we have a Mercury in Aries, Venus in Aries, and Chiron in Aries. I'm not quite sure where you have your Aries energies, but this is what is happening. I've been actually talking about last week, also, Aries, opposing the Libra. So wherever your Libra energy is, I'm telling you, there will be a lot of stuff digged on the surface. And my mantra is right now for Venus and Mercury and Aries. We didn't hear everything yet. And on the mutable sign, we have actually Mars in Gemini opposing Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is retrograde. Okay, so what does this all mean for us? Let me just kind of try to summarize this. um, Aries, as I've been talking for quite a bit right now, especially Chiron in Aries, is representing, for me, from my point of view, our thoughts, what we believed, our consciousness, and having right now Chiron for the next 7 years in it, it will very much challenge us where we've been wounded. You can go from so many aspects. Number one, information. We know for quite a bit that we have, so much misinformation and disinformation, what's really going on the internet and all over the place, that is very difficult actually to figure out what is the truth. And that's where the Jupiter comes in it. It's also retrograde in Sagittarius. So we will, in the least next 4 months, have a lot of digging to do, folks. What we thought is the reality or, information or the truth, it will be challenged mega time. Especially since we have actually the true North Node in Cancer. I've been listening last night to Truth, Honor, and Integrity. And it was very interesting when Thomas was talking about, the Sri Lanka incident. And, the connection, how far it goes back. And I was very surprised to find out, actually not surprised, but it was pretty amazing to me, that the history there goes back almost 800 years for the, how should I even say that, unresolved issue. Let's just say that, And I will say this, everything what I'm seeing right now in the world, what is happening, folks, it is constantly getting over and over and over replayed because we are holding in the consciousness, and even in the collective consciousness, unresolved issue. So it's pretty interesting to read or research when you start to kind of dig into the deeper picture. And this is why, I was saying from the beginning of this year, when I was talking about the true North Node in Cancer, that we will find a lot of information related to our past that will get revealed to us. And also the truth will be revealed, Jupiter being in Sagittarius retrograde, the true truth will be revealed. Or let's just say, we will kind of find out a deeper layer. And right now having actually Pluto going retrograde, or went retrograde, and Saturn going retrograde on the 29th, it will be interesting because these two guys will also actually, by going retrograde, it will help us to reveal or open new informations regarding to the past, and shift the way we were thinking. So remember, we've been constantly talking about, or for how long we've been talking about, work on your shadow, work on your shadow. Right now, what I'm seeing is that a lot of people who did work on their own personal shadow, now they are trying to kind of step up and working with a collective, or helping others um, to dismantle, or you know uh, take down the fake history and um, misinformation, and figure out dig out the truth, whatever the truth is. Look, like we are always talking about, truth is not necessary for always, but until we get the whole new information, and then we can readjust and realign, to again reconstruct, so we can move forward. And this is right now, look, like I said, sun being in a Taurus is big time um, actually realigning our own personal values. Okay, because Taurus is about the money. It's also about properties, land. At the same time, it's also about our physical body. And on many levels, I am constantly talking about that. Taurus will also be, with the Uranus right now, it will also be more about our own desires. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that word, but what I mean with our desires, I would maybe shift this and say about the human will, or our individual will. Because what really happened in the past, that humanity was put under this incredible restriction and manipulation, control, and I mean, you can see it even right now, how much we are struggling actually with the information and bringing the truth out. Even now, we are actually getting cut off about the human truth, or what humanity wants, and how to free ourselves from this restrictions of other aspects. So it will end up to be very interesting to see the progress. I think by the end of the year, somewhere in October, November, we will end up to be quite surprised with a whole new information from the Pluto and the Saturn. Because when you go actually in the retrograde, you end up to be faced with a lot of issue with from the unresolved aspect of ourselves. So, I mean, we can see right now also, on the global platform, there are unbelievable struggle going on between the individuals and collective, and so many different aspects. But as we are, cleaning ourselves, cleaning our shadows, the more you do the work, the more you can actually impact the collective, and bring more solutions, and bring more balance into the next cycle. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. Everybody's talking about this 2020 and 2020, and it's like, okay, I look, like I said, I love to use astrology as a GPS, but I don't make it, something that I have to totally live by it. You always have a choice. And finally, I was listening to somebody who actually went back in the last 3 cycles and explained, what happened in those 3 cycles, and we are actually moving into the next one on January 12th. And I said, Whoa. So this makes actually totally sense because what we are doing right now, we are finishing, this last cycle. We are closing practically the cycle and putting a new platform or opening new platform for the next 38 years. So it will be pretty interesting. So